On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, more banners, more stuff, and also, it's finally here. It's time for your Lostbelt 6 pregame. I mean on today's episode, not literally right now. That would be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Anyway, hello. I am one of your hosts, the Baron of Information, Omega. With me, as always, the Duke of his Dukes, Lucky.
I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Like a Good Neighbor. Avalon LaFay is here. And while we here at Studio Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events with the JP and EM version of the game, so anyone not want to spoil this should hurry back from summer camp.
We have fun here.
We do.
I don't know if you caught me on that in the audio or not, because I was leaning away, but I didn't actually read your intro before we got started. I was doing other stuff. So you got me a little there. I was in the middle of my drink. Okay, alright.
A test of your reflexes!
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're gonna do... Yeah, no, I got the soundboard pulled up now.
We do have a wide variety of those things. We're a proper morning show now.
Yeah! Excited about this.
Alright. Yeah, hopefully people like them. The volume level should be good. In general, our volume levels should be better, because I had to edit the 5.5 recap today. We talked about all of it in one go. And for some reason, we were really freaking quiet on that. Like, usually, sometimes I'm a little quiet, and you're usually pretty loud. Or some of those sections of audio were just, I'm like, why is this so quiet? What have I done to this audio? I think I caught most of it with just normalize amplify effect, but still, it was weird. I did some extra editing. Alright, anyway, hey, before we go any further, I would like to remind everybody this episode is brought to you in part by our patrons like Adam Hart, Buckets G, Call Me Zed, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Fighty Bird, Jeremy Vasquez, JDV 9000, Just the Fae, Jonathan Sandoval, Chris Starlight, Legendary Boston, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Trevor, Sean Pyre, Some Guy Named Bob, and Varian the Crow. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon, get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Also, I don't know why, but I started counting it on my hands. Like, I know how many names there are. It's just all a block of names to me.
Text wall, baby.
But alright, yes, we should have a healthy and hearty show for you today, with a wide variety of things and stuff.
Very filling. A lot of calories.
Yeah, it's dense and intense. Indense, if you will. Anyway, we're gonna just fire on down through our regularly scheduled programming and keep going. First, let's check in with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mash.
Senpai, 起きてください.
Because please, wake the fuck up, Senpai. It's a regular segment from Rotips. I have 2 for you this week. We're doing overtime. We're catching up. First of all, June's new items, as you would have already have seen, but in case you haven't been logging in, first of all, what's wrong with you? Well, again, there's apples. Also, you need to claim your 60 million QP or whatever. Anyway, June's items, crown stakes and lanterns. Very solid. Also, in NA anyway, the FGO grapevine has been going down. They are now recommending 4 gigabytes of RAM and supporting 3 gigabytes of RAM. And starting in July, not explicitly yet, but they say starting in July, devices earlier than Android 7.0 will not be able to play FGO. So, again, to interpret all that, they are recommending 4 gigs of RAM. They say they support 3 gigs of RAM, which basically means the game may not run on devices that have less than 3 gigs of RAM. And if they don't run, there's no complaining. They're telling you that that's not supported. So, keep that one in mind. And yes, if you are, for some reason, still on an Android version earlier than 7, you will not be able to play on FGOs in July. Probably around anniversary. We'll get another major app update, I'd guess. So yeah, keep that in mind, everybody. I was thinking ahead a little bit. My phone's already 4 gigs when I bought my upgrade a few years ago. Thanks, future site. Anyway, our next notch in the old totem pole is Records of the Throne, a regular achievement topic.
This week it's me, and it's very unremarkable and underwhelming, but thanks to the power of great success and other such things, I was able to get good old Dr. Jekyll smile protected. Yay. But let's move on.
Alright, yes. No evil. We scroll straight through on to, did you finish your master missions? Probably. So, this week's master mission is very straightforward. You need to defeat 20, then 40 enemies. This excludes servant enemies on certain bosses. You need to defeat 15 each of Saber or Caster enemies. Space next mission. Lancer, Cesar, Berserker enemies. And then below that, Archer or Rider enemies. All of these exclude servant enemies or certain bosses. And then your final master mission is put 1 swimsuit servant, not counting costumes, in your party and complete 5 quests. So, do the event, and if you didn't do that, maybe do some of those dailies we've got open all the time now. Just saying, maybe prepare for the next big thing. So yeah, obviously, with the swimsuit servant effect, this is meant to be done during the summer rerun, but you can just as easily get this done by doing dailies and clearing Fuyuki. very easily. So just keep that in mind and enjoy that free sync quartz. So we're going to move on to Skelegrams. Yeah. I feel like it's been a little while since I did that version of the read. Anyway, we do have a handful of these. Starting on down, JP still got some stuff going. Cycling through some things. First of all, Karakuri Ilya's Castle Summon Campaign number 3 started the 28th, goes until the 4th of June. Sijanai Raid Up with Mio and Katodanzo also still on there, plus CEs. So yeah, just using this as an excuse to rerun a whole shitload of servants. Sijanai's here. Yay. Also,
It is an Ilya.
True. Also, a Nerofest / Battle in New York 2022 rerun campaign thing. Kind of a celebration of that stuff that has been done in the past. Started the 31st, going until the 7th of June. So still kind of being in a Lotto-type mood and celebrating some stuff. You know, they're doing a Lotto event right before a major story release, so got some things going on. You're going to look at 3 separate banners for Nero Bride, for Summer Nero, and for a Tesla Edison Wumbo combo, with the Ilya's Castle CEs also still on each banner. So, you know, getting you some last year's event promo, but also still getting you some good new CEs. Also during this time period, we've got Advanced Quest number 15 has dropped. That will feature new releases for a Chaos Clow, Forbidden Page, and the 5th Bone Zone CE. You can now max limit break the Bone CE. Put that one on in big lights, spotlights, fireworks, everything. But yeah, so I believe that marks our second MLB-able drop CE from Advanced Quest. I think the first was Void Dust.
I believe so.
Yeah, so naturally Bones was the second. Fangs will probably be the third. And otherwise they are moving on to Silver Mats, it seems like. So that's good. Advanced Quest system is rolling out. Keep your eyes out for that one. JP also got a new MP Shop CE, Twilight Meditation. It boosts FP and Mystic Code EXP. Speaking of Mana Prism Shop CEs, though, we are moving on to NA news. First of all, in our store, we got To the Beyond, Bereft of the Snowy Blossom. Gee, Kadok, that's a real mouthful. Added to our MP shop. This is FP and... is it normal EXP? Or is it Bond? I think it's Bond. Let me click over the news desk real quick. Yeah. So it's when MLB and it's plus 25 friend points and 5% extra bond. This does stack with other friend point and bond buffs. So keep that in mind if you're trying to get that big boy bond farming. That said, I do not believe that this one is particularly in demand unless you're a huge fan of Kadok, because it's only like 5% bond and then the other's just like 25 FP. But something to keep in mind. We additionally have plenty of things going down the pipeline. First of all, we got some new details, some extra stuff added to the Lostbelt 6 Avalon the Fae, The Moment of Planet is Born pre-release campaign. We did get our 60 million QP, so hit that social media goal. Good job, everybody. Thumbs up. Log in for a week, 1 day a week, you know, for the whole 7 days. For gold apples, keep your stuff up. Pretty sure last week we already talked about the all dailies open and half AP free quests and stuff, so just a reminder, there's some stuff going on during this time period.
Do we actually get half AP free quests? Because I checked them today and they were full.
It may not have actually kicked in yet,
Okay.
but it should be half AP free quest. Let me double check the dates on that. Oh, it's first clear only, yeah.
Oh, first clear only.
Yeah, if you're pre-cleared, it doesn't count.
Okay.
Sorry, I should clarify that, yes. I believe that may have come up last week, but yes, to be certain for everybody, it is, as usual, the first clear only. So if you're just farming mats, it's no good, but if you haven't cleared all your free quests and you need that sweet, sweet Saint Quartz, it's useful.
Okay.
And to get that benefit, I believe you have to have beaten Lostbelt 5.5, because they would like to remind you, you have to clear Lostbelt 5.5 to get to Lostbelt 6, for now. Unless you want to wait, like, half a year, or a year or something. Basically, it's your choice. You can either have Heian Kyo done now, or you could wait a long time to not have to do Heian Kyo. Anyway, we did also get some extra stuff here. The expected Writer Da Vinci banner fired up on the 1st, goes until the 15th. So getting that in on there if you want some extra units before we get started on this story chapter. And we have nailed down that the Chaldea Broadcasting Station is on the 5th. Oh, good night. Somebody going to bed. The episode will be there when you come back. But the broadcasting is on the 5th. It is marked as a live stream by YouTube. They already have the link up and everything. But no guarantee it will be 100% live. It will probably just be, you know, Albert in a conference room being like, here, look at these pre-taped message I presented for you earlier. They explicitly said that Kano Yoshiki will only be appearing in a special video message. But yeah, that'll be our drop date. Everybody is, you know, locking in now, getting ready for everything. Technically, based on how time zones and maintenance works, the actual start day for Lostbelt 6 will probably technically be the 6th. But yes, next week, in the middle of next week, we're going to get Lostbelt 6. Pretty sure. Pretty sure we're clocking in. They're emphasizing all this stuff. So keep your eyes out. There's a social media campaign for a little bit of extra Saint Courts and some more QP and stuff on that as well. Plus, we'll also probably get our usual, 10 to 30 Saint Courts from, the appearance. So, if you want to get caught up, that's how many days you got left. You got like 3 days left. Because you can't catch up during maintenance. But to help you catch up, and also to help you with some leadership, we also have Story Clear Support Campaign. Started the 1st officially, going until the 14th of August. 8/14, that's right. This goes on for a long time. Leyline Stones are back, baby. And for once, they're actually timed correctly. They didn't make us wait until, 2 weeks after the story chapter release to do this update. Yes, I am still a little annoyed that's how Heian Co worked. I had to spend, 2 Saint Courts during that story. Anyway, you get 3 just for logging in. If you've cleared Lostbelts up to Olympus, you get 7 more, so ideally, if you are all caught up on story, you'll be going into Lostbelt 6 with 10 of these. If you're not caught up, you've got a maximum of 10 of them to use to catch up. Additionally, they will have limited time master missions rolling out during these upcoming months for more SQ and for more other awards, QP Embers, etc. The first set is simply cure Heian-Kyo stages and you'll net 12 total more Saint Courts. So just the usual stuff JP has been doing for a while, now finally being transposed over here. They really want you to catch up on main story, they want you to be ready to go, they're giving you Leyline Stones, extra Saint Courts, all that stuff to get in there. And encouraging story progress, not just now, but over several months, which is nice, right?
Right.
Good catch up, and boy howdy, I'm gonna appreciate those Leyline Stones.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. I wrote the pregame for drop 1 and drop 2, so I know some things.
Does anyone here play JP who remembers if this is how it happened back in the day? Did they get the Leyline Stones up front or after for this campaign?
Pretty sure. Yeah, it was up front, and I believe it was. I think it was technically up front for both because we got Heian-Kyo 2 or 3 weeks earlier, so the event that gave Leyline Stones and JP also hit first.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so.
Also, no, that is not the thumbnail. That is just one of my favorite images to post when people start talking about cringe.
Yeah, no. We already have the thumb. Lucky me, the thumb. Oh, he's waiting for me to show up after some cat stuff. But yeah, so we've got our alerts and everything. Everybody, like I said, buckle on down, strap in. This probably means after Maint on the 6th, Morgan Banner, Lostbelt 6, drop 1 starts. And we're just going to have to see how they handle the parts. Because it's kind of an unknown. When we get after the mailbag break into Free Talk, I'll discuss that a little. Like I said, I have mapped out my pregame for the first 2 parts, assuming that they will probably be a little bit closer together, but we don't actually know. The way the story seems to be set up is that every part ends on something at least remotely resembling a breakpoint, and then when the next drop happened in JP, there was a intro, let's get back into it quest. So I'm fairly certain they're not going to do away with the entire delay. It just might be that after you get, Banner 1, Banner 2, in 2 weeks, they launch, Banner the 3rd and the second story drop in late June, just before anniversary. Axe is saying words now and I don't understand them at all.
Typical.
So to answer your question, Robin, no. Only some of it ends like that.
Still gotta fix that.
Oh, very good. Yeah, it's a little echoey. You need to find a better version of that sound. No, well, trust me. If you guys, if you're not going to just pull the lever, I'll tell you about the boss fights. There's a couple. Now, so the way I'm looking at it, this is a real interesting way they've broken it up, because on the one hand, I can totally see having, looked at, the number of quests and what the rewards are, right? While it does also, on the one hand, feel like the break for part 1 or part 2, it works. There is a big boss fight at the end of part 1 that, sets up so that you at least have a big climactic fight, right? But also, part 2 ends with a, real big conclusion type thing that happens that I won't get into, obviously, for spoilers, but, it has a conclusive ending. So it feels like it's not meant to be split into 3 parts, but at the same time, I'm looking at the density of chapters. It really actually also feels like a 3-act structure, because I think a bulk of the content is in the middle, in part 2 drop. Because there's a lot of stuff, guys. Oh my god. There's a lot of stuff in general. Guys, here's a little teaser. Here's a little teaser for the pregame, if you're not going to stay for the whole thing. There are multiple 9-pip nodes in this drop.
Oh, jeez.
Multiples. Yeah, it's the stacks of printer paper, baby. They found a way to hit this pace, and boy, it's intense. So we'll get into it, but yeah, it's it's going to be interesting. Everybody, buckle the fuck up. Get ready to take your breaks. Get your water stocked now, because we're going to be here for a while. But yeah, that's all I think the thoughts I have preamble-wise to get in.
Alrighty. So, with that, let us move right on over to this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. Even though I only got this out 2 hours ago, 2 hours, I literally did this at I think it was on my final break at work as I am virtually looking over my shoulder to make sure no one see me doing this shit. Slam this out. And you guys, I don't know, maybe sensing my rising panic, me just being on a constant state of,
Oh no.
freaking came in with fucking 18 comments. Jesus Christ, guys.
We're all plugged into the collective unconsciousness. We all have the brain cell. You literally, as you were logging in to ask, hey, shit, did I remember to do mailbag? I had just typed it in mod channel. By the way, hey, remember to upload the AP and do a mailbag when you get a chance.
Very true.
All lined up in the psychic powers. But yeah, 18 of these motherfuckers.
18 of them. But like I said, we really don't have a time limit. We usually get through these pretty quickly. So let's just get straight on into it. So, starting us off, we have the Tyrant King whose wallet shall be sacrificed to bring home an MP7 Morgan for coins and a Silver Wolf in HSR. I believe that's Honkai Star Rail, if I remember correctly.
I would assume so.
Ye. Oh, I need to put the ye in there. I will. Question. Hey guys, LB6 coming Tuesday, hopefully, and the pre-campaign for Ordeal Call following soon after. Do you think we'll get Camelot 3? It's Dad's turn now, focus maybe on Uthar and Vortigern, since both Camelot chapters were focused on Morgan and Artoria. Anyway, that's it for me. Sending you good vibes your way. Wah, 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 wah. And hope you have a great weekend, and may your rolls be blessed. I'm gonna be real. Personally, don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Vortigern's gotten some coverage in some, novels and short stories Nasu has written, some collections. I don't actually know if we know much about Uther Pendragon as a character, which is a little funny. But yeah, pace-wise, I do want to say that I do kind of feel like Avalon the Fae is written to be the mirror of Camelot in Part 1, right? And I'll elaborate a little on some of this in some more pregame stuff, but for instance, you get access to story support writer Da Vinci, which I'm very excited to see because it means she finally gets to come outside her tube in a main story, which is very similar to, in Camelot, regular Da Vinci deciding to follow us in, for shits and giggles. Unknown if Bastignon 3 will appear. But Ordeal Call is not, paced right away for that, and there's only supposed to be, I think, did they say it's going to be 3 bits, or is it going to be 1 bit? I don't know. I don't know if we got any, breakdowns of how many parts it's going to be. So, 3 at least? Okay. Yeah, so, I don't know if they're going to do, because obviously, we're still technically in Part 2. This is just the Part 2 of Part 2. As ludicrous as this sounds. We're not yet quite to Kingdom Hearts numbers. So, it's not as bad as it could be. But, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we could get an interesting, mirror of earlier parts. No, actually, Tyrano, somebody in chat's asking, wouldn't this be Part 3? No. They have said that technically this is all still the overarching plot of Part 2. Oh, Part 3 of Part 2? No? I mean, they did say that there was, a thematic break after Lostbelt 5, but actually proportional of the plot-wise, I don't know if this is the third part. Anyway, there's lots of very confusing numbering. What I mean to say in all this, as I'm getting bombarded by shots from the patron chat, is just, I don't know if there's going to be enough Ordeal Calls to explicitly mirror, earlier chapters. I do know they like to do that, because that lets them revisit characters who didn't get the fullest detail, and lets them, do funny in-references for the players, and, players love that shit. But we'll see exactly how it works out. I wouldn't mind, like I said, a dad episode. On a scale of 1 to 10, how dad do you think Uther Pendragon is, everybody? Probably not very much, because I'm pretty sure he fucking died. But getting some very mid-range dad levels. Not as much dad energy as Barrett from Final Fantasy VII Remake. I
was actually waiting to see if Mega would talk till the 5 mark, but he barely made it. So, let's keep going. This next one comes from The Eternal Storm. They say, question, what are your thoughts on the Fates version of Guinevere? I find it odd that she hasn't appeared in any content given her impact on several characters. Anyway, good luck on your roles. For me, I'm trying for Morgan and our guest. I feel like showing Guinevere off would kind of be like pointing a loaded gun into a crowd. I feel.
Yeah, at this... So, it's interesting this person asks, what do you think of Fate's version of Guinevere? And I would have to say, I don't know. We don't really see her a lot. I think even pre-FGO, she mostly appeared as like a background silhouette, right? Like,
I do not
I don't even
remember.
know she has a full character design.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like you said, it's kind of like a loaded gun because, for the most part, all of our knights of the round would probably have some, very complex things to say. Obviously, like, there's Lancelot, but there's also Artoria. There's even, Mordred, because classically Sir Mordred is the one who exposes, Lancelot and Guinevere's affair because it's a Morgana plot. There's also Morgan to consider as well. So, like, there's a lot of stuff going around, and it just... Sorry. That exhale was somebody on our Patreon chat posted an image from, I think, one of the mangas. It's just, she's literally faceless. Literally don't show her face. Yeah, I don't know. We should be concerned if Guinevere gets an actual character design. It's like when they showed Morgan in the flashbacks in Fate Apocrypha, and her design was like completely different from the one single version of her design we'd seen already, and we were like, oh, I see what we're doing. We're setting this character up to show in FGO sometime or something. And hey, it was that design.
Ta-da!
But yeah, I don't know what to think. It'd be complicated.
Well, since we don't know what to think, I won't worry about thinking about it, and we will move on. This next one comes from Gahulian God, who starts with, hope you had a good week. The 4-day work week made working this week very odd as someone who's very routine-centric. That's great for you. I still have to go to work. As for my actual question, do or can we ever use grails we contain for any power source-based purposes and Chaldea, specifically the Solomon grails and grails obtained in story-significant scenarios? As far as I know, we don't actually use really, outside of, Paladin Genesis, which is a player-facing thing, I don't know if we actually use grails for anything. I think we actually just put them in storage and be like, no one touch these.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just secure them so that they can't be misused, and make sure not to misuse them, because fucking around with wish engines is bad.
A lot of magical energy. You know what they say, don't consume an energy orb bigger than your head.
I don't know if we actually literally turn them into our command spells. We do have a way to recharge ourselves very rapidly. I don't actually know if Chaldea uses the grails for that. We have other power generation sources that are not elaborated on, because it's magic, we don't have to explain shit.
I do remember at one point they did say how Leonardo da Vinci's workshop was providing magical energy for Chaldea. Yep. I don't remember exactly how that worked, especially when it got cut off.
She's got a pretty high-level territory creation, so that would make sense. Also, it was canonical that the story version of Da Vinci didn't use the full power of her Noble Phantasm because she was using most of her omnipotence to run Chaldea.
Yeah. So, we shall keep it on.
This next one is going to end. We're gonna shove all the grails into a box and throw it at the alien god.
Grail bomb. It'll be great. The last thing they'll hear is
nuclear launch detected.
It'll be perfect. So, we move on. This next one comes from Summer Servant Compulsion Disorder. They say, hi! Well, hello to you too. So, since we got our Summer Kyo rate up last year on an A in JP, what Summer Servant do you think is hardest to get? They put this in bold, by the way. Mad Rabbling, skip if too much. Actually, since it's a Mad Ramble, I'm going to say this quickly. Since last year, I managed to pick up the older Summer Servants I've been missing, Kyo, Fran, Maid, Alter, but not after giving me the finger last year. These banners are doing it to me again. I managed to get Bren on the first banner, but not before getting my fourth copy Kiara, but the second banner, my desperate attempts to fish out a Tome, odds against odds, we agreed with Abigail, third copy. I can't recall exactly how much courts and tickets I threw into Mad State, but I can guarantee there wasn't a single gold servant in there at all. Ramble over. I'm getting better at talking. Long story short, my dream of owning all the Summer Servants for a short time at least has been perhaps permanently thwarted. May luck with 5 stars be as bad this summer. I love listening to Let's Talk FGO. I haven't written in a while because I'm always tired when I notice the post, and I always ramble. Sorry. Wishing you and everyone listening good vibes and good gacha rolls. Wah, 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 wah.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. I would actually have to say, yeah, probably it's the summer ones that don't get as much love. Probably,
yeah.
Usually I keep my eye out for summer Tamamo rate-ups, and I do know we get a couple more. But I don't remember, summer Anne or Bonnie much, summer Marie much.
Yeah, it depends on the context. Anna, Mary, and Marie, I think, are fairly infrequent. Like, I think Anna and Mary have had some, but it's very rare. Like, if you're Summer Martha, you get a rate up like every 6 months.
You do.
I feel like they like Summer Martha more than they like regular Martha sometimes, or at the very least, because regular Martha is a permanent 4-star, they don't need to give her a rate up.
Listen, I love my Punch Saint.
Something like that. I mean, I do kind of feel like similar in that vein. It's been a while since Summer Mordred got a rate up. They've thrown a couple her way, but there hasn't really been anything that really tacked on there. So yeah, I think it's just as we get older, those early summers get pushed less and less. And obviously, for the moment, the last year's SSRs are always the... Well, this person was talking about Summer Key already. But what is it saying? The SSRs from the last year's summer are always the rarest until they start getting rerun. But we'll actually see how long that sticks, You never know when you'll see another, Lady Avalon rate up randomly.
Mm-hmm. So, let's keep going. This next one comes from T-Fiend. They say, "Greetings, my fave content creators. Hope your day goes well. My question is this. What official merch does not yet exist for FGO that you really think should? I personally wish there was a St. Quartz plush." That's a very good one. I also agree with this. Also, Faux Kigurumi. Where is it?
Oh, yeah. Because that's actually, like, in some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Legendary screaming about an Achilles figure.
Does Achilles not have a figure? It's kind of surprising. He was in Apocrypha. Didn't Apocrypha do okay? Didn't people like that one? I don't know. That was years ago.
Mecha Ellie model kit.
Yes, give me the Mecha Ellie gun. Let me get the really high quality one with all the bits.
Well,
honestly,
right.
in general, there's probably a lot of stuff you could do some good kits out of in FGO, considering the mecha obsession some of the writers have.
That reminds me, I do believe my comic kit comes this fall, I believe. Did I say kit? I meant figure.
Hopefully it's pre-assembled. Actually, I don't know. It's probably... Is it all one contiguous mold, or do they have to assemble it? I don't know.
I should get something nice for her. But, I do have a modular Tomomo, actually. One of the ones that you can change out pieces of her. Yeah. One of my other Tomomo things I found out was a knockoff, and that's why it keeps falling apart. So I'm like, yeah.
Watch out, gotta get your good merch.
Yeah, be careful about that, everyone. Knockoffs are everywhere. So, with that though, let us keep moving forward. This next one comes from... Oh, this is interesting. I don't know if I can do this voice, but I shall try. This next one comes from... Hello! It's me, Barrel Plier, coming at you with another playthrough of Five Nights at Feyland.
I see we're going dark, Barrel Plier.
Like I said, I don't watch Markiplier that much. I just know he has a buttery smooth voice, and sometimes goes...
True. All these facts are correct.
But they say, once again, hello, Fairy King Commander and Lord of the Lake of Lucky. If you called me Fairy Queen Lucky, I would have accepted that too. Hopefully you both are doing well and have reported your St. Quartz for the coming Danger Zone that will start from next week all the way to the end of summer. No, I got like 26 tickets and 120 St. Quartz. I am so unprepared. Well, if not, hopefully this message carries some luck to you both, as I will also bet my gacha funds if I can get Morgan in 2 Fey Nights without spending any cash. I'll donate a full $80 to the next live stream following my rolls. That just means I need MP1 all three within 600 or so St. Quartz I've saved since New Year's. May the whims of fate begin.
Whoa, Jesus, sorry. Was that one of them special emote stickers?
Yeah. That's a super react. If you have, like Discord Nitro, you can do super powerful. You can do the most powerful reacts.
There's some demonic shit happening in our patron chat right now. Anyway, yeah, no. I mean, I'm a little juiced on quartz. I've got over 300. But these kinds of deals with the devil usually do something. And yes, for people who like Catalyst stuff, I will have wanted up before Tuesday. Don't know exactly when, but we'll be there. We're working on it. Things are
let me tap something. Let me check. How is my bank account doing?
These sorts of bets of fate often do something. Which I'm glad, because that means I get more money. Waka waka.
I might be able to get my credit card under... Wait, nope. I won't have enough time. Well, it depends on fate, I suppose. We'll see.
Let's see how things shake out. What the fuck?
Robin's going a little ape shit.
Discord, why? I don't blame Robin, I blame Discord for allowing this to happen. What is this sorcery?
It's black magic. Don't worry about it, man.
It's free. That's correct. Anyway, we got quite a few of these.
Oh, let us keep going. This next one comes from Soul of the Light Mode Discord, the Heathen. They say, no witty one-liners or cringy comments today, just wishing everyone a happy start of Pride Month and hope you all fill up on good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. And they finish with, wah, 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 wah.
Also, yes, hey, happy Pride, everybody.
Whoa.
Be prideful about you.
Have I been drinking my monster? I have not. I should drink this monster. So.
Have you cracked cracked the can already?
Yeah, I cracked the can, and I just put it off to the side and completely forgot about
You
it.
should be drinking it. I don't know if you're supposed to just sit and let Monster effervesce.
I'm sorry, do we have, like, monster scented candles? I'm gonna look that up. Actually, I don't know if that's a scent I want in my life. I take that back.
You don't want your room to just smell like Monster Energy drink? Probably
No, that would remind me of my fucking college days.
I feel like that the problem with that is you'd like light it for some reason or just have it sitting around, you know, and then you'd forget about it, and then you'd just be like, where's that can of Monster I clearly have lying around that I need to throw away? Where did it go? My room smells like Monster. And then you'd be like,
No, if I'm gonna do, well, I actually do have scented candles. I have apple cinnamon because it's right now. But if I wanted to do absolute chaos, I would just light, like, cinnamon roll scented candles and just let them burn in the house for a little bit before putting out the candle and hiding it. And just let people come out and it's like, are there cinnamon rolls? And I'll be like, no.
True chaos.
Excuse me.
Chaos.
So, with that, let's keep going on. Sorry, I had a choking fit there, though. This next one comes from Butterfly Awaiting Butterfly, who says, sending Lucky's Panthetic good vibes, TM, wah 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 wah, to everyone for LB6, short and sweet as I head to work. Well, I hope you have a good day at work, or had a good day at work, or your working is good. Something to that effect.
I hope things are good whenever this finds you.
Yeah! So,
that
next
one's
one?
going to get used a lot, by the way, today.
So this next one comes from alias Zed Just Zed, who says, comment, hey, lucky envoy of the end and Omega High Paladin. Here to say that I enjoyed the Can Lucky guess if Yu-Gi-Oh cards are good stream. I patiently wait for more streams like it if it gets popular enough, sending you good vibes to keep you from the Shadow Realm. Whoa, 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 whoa. Before we continue, I did double check. It does seem that stream is doing good in post. We actually got a couple comments on it too.
Yeah, it's doing nice, which is good, because I've... Not to put, once again, I don't like to play too much inside baseball, but YouTube's been a little weird lately. Like, I swear to God, some of our Final Fantasy XIV streams have lost views. Like, I think the one from, like, 2 weeks ago, currently titled Trials of the Mandervilles, at one point I could swear to you, up and down, that had at least 40 public views. It now says it has 37, and I'm like, did it go down, like, 3 views? What the fuck? Is that even possible? Probably. I'm sure YouTube could forget some views, so yeah, it's weird. But the, Can Lucky Guess Yu-Gi-Oh! Card stream doing very good. Thumbs up. Yay.
Yay.
Check it out if you haven't.
Alrighty.
Now we hit read more.
Yep, I hit read more. And I have more. As they say, records from the throne, Fujino attained NNA. I'm glad I grabbed her, but not without consequences. Not all the world's evil, but dang close. Fujino took a lot of quartz to get, so now I have to save up more for Tam Lin Lancelot. It's weird that it's the apparent translation. Is it the official translation now?
Nope, I don't think we've seen any material. I'm sure our Discord will be freaking out. It's just, again, people, to remind everybody, there was some merch last year that had in English on it, you know, Tam Lin Lancelot, Tam Lin Gawain. We don't know if that's actually how that's going to roll down. We'll probably find out on Tuesday.
Probably. You will not riot. You will either play the game or you won't.
Listen, there's not.
I always love how people always explain like they have any control and whether and whatever happens.
Yeah, people are like, I'll be upset, and I'll be like, well, you'll be upset, but I somehow doubt you're not going to play FGO if you're in this situation right now. No, Robin is speaking in tongues. Anyway.
But they continue with that train a lot. Luckily, I have some souls fire to burn. Wish me luck. Oh, wait. I gotta get better at just snapping this off. Maybe I should need to get like an actual soundboard. But for you, there you go. Wake the fuck up, Senpai. And other news, I remember yesterday that I skipped the summer event last year, and now I need to hurry up and get Summer Python. Thank goodness for reruns. Am I noticing that I wasn't able to give her embers? Once again, wish me luck. Overall, I wish both of you a great day. For those of you who haven't seen it, check out last Tuesday's stream, and heck if you have, check it out again. Zed the Shield Charmer out.
This will be called grassroots movement. This is grown up marketing. But yeah, hey, the rerun's almost over. You should keep your eyes on that one if anybody hasn't done that.
I was doing pretty good on it. I was thinking about like 54 missions right now. And I've kind of hit that point of just like,
Yeah, I was at 30 something. I got my extra CE copies to make sure, and then it just kind of like I poke it a little while I'm doing other stuff. But I also
I'm trying not to use like my apples and stuff.
No,
because those can go pretty quick.
I'm definitely not spending any extra resources on this rerun because I know that the juice is right around the corner.
The juice! But let's keep going. This next one comes from Quetz is Best, And they say, sorry to sign off on that last mailbag. Hope you had a good week and good luck with the LB6 rolls. Oh, honestly, if we're gonna, are we committed to having a next week be a stream so we can talk about LB6? So we can have the big boy thoughts?
Not necessarily, because I don't, again, it's pretty dense, and it'll only be like a few days. We'll probably be doing first impressions. I don't know if we'll go full spoiler.
Okay.
We're not 100% committed. We also, to be fair, we actually don't know exactly when the Lostbelt drops. We assume it will be maintenance after the broadcasting station, but that's not 100% correct every time, so...
True.
I wouldn't pre-plan on anything for next week's show for sure, just because we don't know. We'll have some time over the next week to work on it.
I'm not particularly
thinking of doing some on stream rolls.
Yeah, I'm never particularly jazzed about doing that as the solo content because while I do usually have some cash to burn, I usually don't have that much cash to burn. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather it just be a small segment and a bigger thing rather than just it be the thing by itself. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll feel it out.
Well, honestly, we could probably still do a stream. Who knows? Maybe I can work on some other stuff. I don't know. I'll workshop it. Let me get the dartboard out.
Well, and again, who knows exactly how long it'll take? Because, again, to talk about the recaps and stuff, hey, check those out if you want a story refresher all the way up into Lostbelt 6 since it's soon. But normally our format usually is, we do a first impressions because these events are meaty and, you can't get all through them in one sitting and we want to make sure there's enough room for spoilers. But last time for Heianko for 5.5, we both just speedballed that entire thing in under a week because it was only 16 sections. Technically, the first drop of Lostbelt 6 is smaller than that, so depending on what we're doing during the week, we could be all done already as well. So we'll just have to see where we're at.
What's happening in other things I'm playing? I'm slowing down on Tears of the Kingdom, not because I'm not having fun, just because I am in the pre-final boss stage. I literally have a quest called Destroy Ganondorf.
Yeah,
so
I got that one the other night too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, now's my fuck
now
around
it's time to fuck around.
Yeah.
Kind of. Well, we'll talk more of that on What's Up, I'm sure. But I kind of wish the whole game telegraphed that part a lot better. Maybe it wasn't quite so open ended. I kind of want the game to be linear until that point, and then you just fuck around forever. Anyway, we'll see how it shakes. Monday, of course, we're planning on getting back to streaming, and you're going to stream some Hollow Knight.
Yep, I do believe I do not have anything planned. I do apologize for that for last Monday. Literally, I think I mentioned it at some point, but it was literally last minute. Old friend called up and was like, hey, I'm off Monday. And I was like, oh yeah, Monday's a fucking holiday. And it was a thing of I know I said I do this, but I really want to see this guy. I do not want to be locked up for several hours. So I was like, yeah, I'm free. And Lucky lied as easily as he breathed.
It's okay. I got out the bonus stream that I missed because I was editing the monster that was Lostbelt 5 Part 2 recap.
Lucky made entirely too many mashed potatoes that day.
That would require a significant amount of mashed potatoes.
I made the whole bag.
It's a pretty big chunk.
I should have made potato salad. I will make potato salad next time. Well, the Ultimate Final Fantasy XIV Cookbook, The Essential Culinary Guide to Hydaelyn, actually has a potato salad recipe in it, so I'll be trying that out next time.
So, how many live Lalafell does that recipe call for? Big gig. Remember, kids, always cook your Lalafell raw.
It calls for 1 pound.
Yeah, it's not that much.
Actually, what is this? Roast zucchini, carrot, scallions, rice vinegar.
I'm just hoping that somehow the overlap of future Lostbelt drops doesn't overlap in any way with Final Fantasy 16 days, because we are literally 20 days from that one. Amazon, is my order still in good condition?
Mine's not. Mine's still 4 days out. I mean, it's 4 days over. I'm like, why?
Weird. Mine's still the day after. Also, yours is weird because we both ordered the physical deluxe edition, and you did yours before I locked in mine. But Amazon tells me it'll be.
I'm gonna send a very cross letter of the candy.
23rd is the Friday. Well, that's okay. Yes, Tunguska will drop at the end of the year around Christmas time. Not literally on Christmas, depending, because we will have a Christmas event. It's Santa Martha this year, right? Jack, help me out here.
Yes.
Yeah, multiple confirmation.
There's a lot of things coming out. I forget. Is Street Fighter 6 out yet?
I think it is. If not, it's soon.
I'm gonna have to change the waiting room name to something else.
Yep. Today is its release date. It's officially live today.
Okay. Oh, that's why Alter is in there playing it right now. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to have to change it.
Funnily enough, today was also the release date for Wheel of Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie, which I have not picked up yet, but we'll probably grab sometime. I still need to play Humanity, that other puzzle game that released last month. But also, there's about a bajillion other things to play.
Normally, I would not shill Blizzard games, but if people actually are interested in playing Diablo 4, I'll put it up.
I just, just so long as everybody who's playing Diablo 4 understands that Blizzard is still terrible. I don't, much like other games that have come out this year, I don't care if you acknowledge about yourself, but listen, you can play Diablo 4 if you want to. I'm not interested, but,
Enough about that. We can get more about that tomorrow.
Where are we? I think 3 left?
Yes. This next one comes from Monster Girl Aficionado, who says, Dear Lucky Omega, no question this week, just sending good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. And wishing you well. Keep up the great work. I feel like I should get a wah, wah, wah sound effects, but I think people just like it when I do it manually.
No, I also think so. I mean, we could always just punch out a clip of you doing it, but...
Nah. Otherwise people are going to think I'm...
Sloppy.
This, I believe, is what we call sparking joy.
What?
Just, you do the little thing, we all get a smile. This sparks joy. Soundboard sparks joy, everybody. It's canon.
It does. But, so we're gonna move on. This next one comes from Agent 418, who says, Hello, Lucky and Omega. Have a good weekend. Same to you. And in everything that you do? But surprisingly, they are not the last one. We have a surprise one from someone we usually don't see in here. But they are, I'm totally not getting 80% through timecodes and never getting them to do them. Mori cute.
You're doing that thing where you're using emotes that, one, aren't even from our Discord server, but also are Discord emotes. Those don't work on YouTube. You are truly a trash goblin, a sewer creature. But also, hey, thanks for the timecodes.
And they say, so I know we all agree that Beryl is the worst, but how bad can he really be with all these free pre-LB6 launch stuff he's giving us? Still awful? Fair.
It's gonna be funny because Beryl's voice actor is the other guest on the stream, so
I wonder if he's gonna talk about how hated he is.
Yeah. If I remember rightly from some of his JP appearances, he understands that we all think Beryl has a very punchable face. So hopefully we can take it in stride. I know that most of the actors in Fate are happy to be here and lean into the jokes a little. But yeah, there we are. That's mailbag.
That is the mailbag. I hope you enjoyed.
All right, and that puts us at about 55-ish minutes on the clock. In that case, we will probably do both parts of the pregame today. Because I can just get into my notes and discuss as we go. Because I wrote notes for this. So, Caldea Free Talk, LB6 Pregame, Part 1. LB6 is coming. The stuff is happening. It's that Michael Scott clip. All right, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Because we're finally here. It's been a long time. So, to preface this for everybody, in JP, this was broken up into 3 parts. I mentioned this earlier. Each does have a little beginning. There's a little intro quest to, get you back into the part and, move on through. There are, the usual time lock dates afterward. We can assume this will still translate, but hopefully it won't take 2 months to drop the whole thing. We can be reasonably certain that the second half has to come before the end of June, because that comes with a banner for Fairy Knight Lancelot, which, because she's a limited SSR, has to be out before the July 4th weekend, because that's when we get our lucky bag at the EAX weekend. So, keep that in mind, everybody. So, our first bit here is going to focus on Part 1. I've got the dip into Part 2 based on how this goes, because that'll be hitting a little sooner than everybody expects. But we will definitely not be covering Part 3 in this block, because that will not be happening until after Anniversary, for sure. There will be need to be a little bit of breathing room. And like I said, the way Part 2 ends, it seems to end with a major notation that is like, hey, we're taking a little break. See you later. The Part 1 doesn't really end with that. It just kind of ends with a boss fight, which we'll be getting into. But anyway, super mega ultra spoiler warning. If you like doing story content blind, I will be not saying names for the sake of your virgin ears, but most of you are reasonably self-aware and can add 2 + 2. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I just saw another one of those super reacts pop, and I'm like, holy shit, how many different animations do they have for this? Anyway, sorry. Mega spoiler warning. Leave now if you wish not to know things. So, to talk about how this works out. Part 1 of Lostbelt 6 consists of 11 sections, mostly main story acts, but also some fragments. It ends on Act 9. So yes, Drop 1 is just through Act 9. Keep this in perspective for later. Doing this part will net you 11 Saint Quartz and some LB6 mats you probably need. Also, do we get EXPs when we do main story clears? I can't remember how far ahead we are. Yeah, okay, you'll also get some EXPs. All right, we're caught up on that. Good. Probably helpful. Now, do not take this number for granted. You might go, oh, they were talking earlier, they might be done with one whole, done in a week, or 3 days, really, depending on the actual drop. That's only 9 acts. Oh, that's going to be easy. Don't count your horses before they've hatched. Some of these quests are long. Yeah, I know. I said it. I did a malaproper there. Not 70 pips, but like I said, some of these quests are longs. Multiple of these are going to be 6 or 7 pip long. There's at least one that's 9 pip longs in part 1 drop. Some of these are no battle pips, but still, there's a lot here, okay? Also, I hope you like our favorite gimmick, solo battles and NPC-only pips. You'll be getting a lot of those. Yay! Yeah, so buckle up for that stuff. A lot of force support picks, a lot of NPC-only picks, a lot of teams of NPC-only picks, many other. Now, for story supports, you're looking at a lot of Tristan. That's regular Tristan. Yes. Sometimes you get Mystic Codes and Command Seals. Sometimes. You're looking at a lot of story support from Tristan, Writer Da Vinci, Castoria, Habitrot, MASH, yes, NPC MASH. Interpolate this however you like. Muramasa, and Gareth. That's also not our entire support cast. There'll be more people in the second bit. But for your first bit, there's some peeps. So, for general enemy vibes, you're going to see some old faces. You're going to see some new faces. That's right. Yes, no. You heard me right, Robin. Story NPC MASH. There's gonna be level 100 NP5 mashes. And you're gonna be like, what? Huh? Hoops? So, for general enemies, for general mobs, you're gonna see some old faces and some new ones. This is a Lostbelt, so your general mob vibes, you're gonna be looking at enemies with between, 30k and 120k HP. Also, in general, I'm gonna start dropping the K from some of these and just say, round numbers. Assume if I say 30, I don't mean they have 30 HP. I mean they have 30,000 HP, okay? We've been doing this a while. Now, expect in general for class to see a decent amount of sabers, riders, casters, berserkers, and some assassins. Plus, there's going to be some Avenger class mobs. Pay it no mind, everybody. Pay it no mind. Everything's fine. Make sure your BBs are dusted off. Now, for new boys, we have a few different enemy types. There's going to be an enemy type called the Moors. There's some goopy boys. They come in berserkers, but can also be the other classes, including your extra classes. They like to inflict curse. Actually, general warning, there's a lot of fucking curse in this Lostbelt. It's almost like there's a theme or something going on. There's a lot of curses. Make sure you brush off that command code that heals your damage over time debuffs, your ailments. What is the one that gets rid of that? Caldea Pathfinder also heals those? Dust out that mystic code. You're gonna need them. Anyway, the Moors drop tiny bells. Also, sometimes the Moors are swole enough to count as mini-bosses. These Ghibli-ass looking motherfuckers. You're also going to run into some new guys who are going to be kind of interesting. They're called Queen Soldiers. These are big, strong boys who come in caster form, oddly enough. But they can give themselves evades and charge their NP with skills. Their NP reduces your NP damage. They drop scale bottles, so Fantasia scales. You're also going to run into some enemies from the Fang Clan. They're like werecat kind of boys. And they're usually sabers or berserkers. They can raise their team's attack. Their NP does defense down. They also drop scale bottles. And for returning enemies, you're going to see lots of fun stuff. You're going to see plenty of wolves. You're going to see plenty of bird-type enemies, Shantax and Garudas. You're going to see a lot of Ifrits. You're going to see some golems. You're going to see some soul eaters. You're going to see some dragons, some Onis, and Spriggans. What, you thought we would get through a fairy-themed Lostbelt and there wouldn't be Spriggans? Oh, you sweet summer child.
One can dream.
Yeah, you can hope. Hey, at least so far through these first 2 parts, no wyverns. Also, yes, no, if you're curious, man, that sounds like a lot of mobs. There's 11, pips. There's also, like I said, there are some intermissions, basically. Fragments, they're called. But yeah, no, there's a lot of guys. Also, note, in general, if you're trying to do trait damage, there are a lot of enemies who are Earth-type and are Beast trait. Keep it in mind. Now, your boss fights for this segment are going to be pretty chill to start. Mostly, like I said, King Mook-type shit. You're going to fight some Moors who are like, ooh, I have 200k HP, Ooh, look, I'm a Spriggan with like 190. But once we get to Act 3, we're going to break out the stuff, and we're going to go from there. In general, as always, it is a Lostbelt. We are post-Solomon. Look out for break bars, look out for big HP, and I will try and describe the most clear boss battles. So, in Act 3, your first match, you're going to have a fight with a big Queen's Knight. The Queen's Knights sometimes like to pretend they're bosses. They're a caster type still. He's got 99 and then 149 HP. He gets a 2-time Guts, which is unremovable also, which puts him back to 10% HP every time. and he'll drain your first servant's NP by 30% on break. So, we're starting off with the pleasantries. Everything's hunky-fucking-dory down here. Yes, there are more enemies who have secret break bars because they have unremovable fucking guts. No, I'm not okay with this. Anyway, Act 3 ends with an endurance battle, our last humdinger. You have to survive 7 turns or break 1 bar of 388k HP. This enemy is a big saber, but they deal berserker-type damage, so they have advantage on everybody, and has special resistance to all attacks. Every time they kill one of your servants, they get permanent attack up. They also apply a taunt to one of your servants randomly per turn, and once per turn, they will eat a command seal. That's right. We found new terrible things to do to you. I don't know how this works with your command seal restores, but no, the boss eats your fucking command spells. No, you do not you have to either break the first bar or last 7 turns. So it's an endurance battle. I will actually say, spoilers for some later stuff, there are actually some fights you do have to lose in this, like you survive a certain number of turns or they end when your team actually dies. Thank God. Thank God we actually discovered that's a thing that works, and you don't have to fight some of these out. I sure do love endurance fights where I have to, not die even though I'm losing. Anyway, like I said, just an endurance fight. Act 4 is some more gimmick fights. There's going to be a rider who summons ads, but they only do their extra attack, not an NP. And then you're going to do a weird fight with an archer enemy boss where you're both basically locked to level 1 in a solo NPC fight using Castoria. The boss has attack up but loses it after 3 turns and becomes stunned, and the fight ends when you break the first bar, which, by the way, their first bar is only 15k HP. It's really weird. It's a weird one. But you do have to solo with Castoria. So, we get a little bit of a break. Act 6 ends with a brawl with some of your buddies. You're looking at a rider, a saber, and a rider, 179, 271, and 136 HP, respectively, with some... There's that. Yes, no, you're right. Yeah. You eat all your seals in Act 3. Yeah. This is why you should really hope that the second chunk doesn't come out right away. You're going to need a few days to get all your command seals back. This is also why they gave you Leylight Stoats, because those are safe, at least. But yes, anyway, Act 6 goes on with that stuff I said. Act 7 is another weird stall fight. You're going to be fighting a Lancer who maxes out their NP every turn. The fight ends after 4 turns, or when Mash is defeated. So, basically, you either survive 4 turns or you lose.
Oh, that's just...
Don't do that evil in the world. Somebody in our patron chat says, audio call, enemies now eat your Sate Quartz. No.
Oh, God, no.
Enemies now bill you 99 cents.
Oh, God, the enemies become the IRS!
But yeah, so, Act 7, wild. Act 8 is where we start to get fucky. Some people will be like, we weren't fucky already? Oh, I have such sights to show you, chat. So, you're gonna have 2 fights back-to-back with the Berserker from Cat Manor. No further detail. Their first version is 90, 113, 136. Second version is 120, 96, 144. The first time, they have bonus damage versus the King Train and inflict curse on normal attack. And they're gonna have a weird gimmick where when you break their bar, they're gonna poison you and apply damage cut to themselves. And each turn after the break, they're going to get more damage cut, they're going to curse you again, and they're going to drain your NP bar. But after they run this whole gamut, they do this for like 3 turns or whatever, they lose all damage cuts, they charge their NP to max, and then they get stunned for 2 turns. So, it's just a weird clusterfuck. Their second fight is more manageable. It's bonus damage versus mail. They still do the curse when you start. At the start of the fight, you have max HP down and also get 9 turns of curse damage. On your first break bar, everybody gets inflicted with terror, and you get a 30% defense down on your second break, and also get minus 1k HP per turn. No, you are not poisoned, you just lose 1,000 HP every turn. So it basically sounds like it turns into a DPS race. But also when you hit her with an NP, she automatically charges her NP to max, so watch the fuck out for that one. Maybe use Super Orion and just, crit. Oh, but it's not over. Act 8 also has another boss fight. I realize that I got some fucking weird indents. Let's take that back. Alright. Well, you'll be running that Castoria comp, but not in the way you think. Anyway, that's more of an Act 2 mechanic. We'll get into that. But yeah, so the third boss fight, all still in Act 8, is where things get fucky. You have to fight a watery tart at the end. They've got 393,000 HP, and basically this boss pretends to be Gorgon, King Protea, and Lambda. Basically, they switch their moves and classes every time you hit them with an NP. Each face has a different buff. All of them have buff nullification resistance. If she's pretending to be Gorgon, she'll curse you and increase damage versus curse. King Protea gets attack up and damage up every turn, and Lambda increases crit chance and has a low chance to charm on normal attacks. Sounds great. After you defeat it the first time, you get to the second part of the battle, which is the true form. It's a giant Heaven's Field Ball, who is a saber. This one has 515,000 HPs, and hits you with, minus 3k max HP, 50% charge down, and minus 20 stars when you start the battle, because technically that's wave 2 of 2. So hold on to that one. Once again, sounds like Super Ryan's going to do a good job. Oh, by the way, I specifically called out Gorgon, KP, and Lambda. Sorry, that wasn't clear from that. That's because, as I said, the class switches every time, so it matches the appropriate class. You're going to have to go through Avenger, Alter Ego, Lancer. I know, it's crazy. And then the quote-unquote final boss of Part 1 is some Gloomhands-looking motherfucker. Yeah, this came out 2 years ago, but it's what I got for this. And you're locked to a specific NPC party. The enemy's a Berserker with 210, 303, 350 HP. They have a special buff where they can't be killed by curse damage, and they get increased defense, and they inflict curse when you hit them with an attack. The more curse stacks the boss has, the higher its attack goes, but the lower its defense goes. On Break Bar 1, it gains an extra NP per tick, and gets bonus damage versus curse targets, and gets defense up, and 2 hits 3 turns invuls. Yes, all of that on Break Bar number 1. On Break Bar number 2, it gets a 100,000 guts. Please stop doing that. Just program enemies with a new HP bar, please. So yeah, this guy's actually he's secretly got free HP bars. Anyway, he also has a skill where he sucks curses off of you onto itself, so it gets that damage up. And also, guess what? Its NP gives you more curses. It's so fun here. So much curse damage, everybody. So much cursing. Oh no, we're not chilling out. We're going the whole mile. Anyway, with the release of this part of the Lostbelt, expect to see a rank up for Gareth. Your first summon banner is going to be SSR Morgan and SR Fairy Knights Gawain and Tristan. Also, Caster Ku will be available at the 3-star slot on all. Originally, he got his animation update here, but we got his animation update when we got all of our big, bulky animation updates. Also, some new CEs drop with this. Also, we're getting more CE rotation. Is this our first ever CE rotation where we permanently take CEs out of the pool? I don't remember, chat. Yes, okay. So, Gondor, Imaginary Numbers, Angel Song, and Noble Peace will be going away forever. Not really, they sometimes show up on other rank ups, but they're not on the Morgan banner. They will vanish from the story summon after, and they will be replaced by some new ones. And about a week after this Morgan banner, you're looking at banner number 2 with Castoria and that Anniversary CE, so kind of an anniversary rerun banner, keeping things alive, keeping things fresh, keeping them slick, keeping them fast. That one went by pretty fast. It was only about 15 minutes to actually describe all that. So that's why I wrote part 2 down. So we'll just go there because basically I don't want to be having to insert this into another show and we're also trying to talk about big boy thoughts about, Morgan's relevance to plot, or why is Beryl so punchable, actually. Part 2 is where, that was just part 1, baby. That was just the first drop. So, I said this before, part 2 really feels like the second act of a 3-act structure. It's really big. So it follows the same pattern here. More pips, more enemies, more HP. This one has a little intro, it has a little beginning segment to hook you back in, like I said, which is where the Saint Courts. But this one covers from Act 10 to Act 24. Just to put that in perspective, y'all. Completing this section, Part 2 nets you 20 Saint Quartzes and 1 Holy Grail. That's right. I think we're getting into double Grails territory here. I didn't look too far ahead, but you get a Grail for this part. This is probably why people sent a 2-part split instead of an originally 3-part split, but it gets split into 3 parts. Also, there's a Caster's Goose story buff in the middle of this after Act 19. Chad is freaking out appropriately. Yes, I know. Robin said it best. There's enough to make a 3rd act after 24 nodes? Yes. 6 stacks of printer paper. But it's a thing, y'all. Also, there's a couple of interesting story gimmicks here. First of all, not that I ever encourage you to skip story anyway, but there are unskippable dialogue choices during this second part, but they don't have any major effect on gameplay or story. There's just, they make you respond to certain characters. It's interesting. Not just like, one character either. It's several characters you have dialogue options which you're just not allowed to skip. So your story support is going to stay mostly the same. You're also going to get Percival added into the mix. You're going to get some Caster Ku in here. And you're going to get some opportunities to take the Fairy Knights for a spin as well. But also, this is where Oberon starts on his bullshit, literally being multiple classes. This was a big thing when the story was actually coming out. People were like, okay, so Oberon's probably playable, but what fucking class is he? It's because you will literally get one node, you'll get a story support Oberon who's like, Archer, and then you'll get another one where he's like, Rider, and you're going to be like, This segment also has, I think, what is basically a new mechanic. So you're going to get story-mandated NPCs in your party and be able to pick from some story supports too. So you'll get instances where you have to put NPC Mash into your lineup, or you have to put Castoria into your lineup, but then you also get to pick a story support from, a list of your usual supporting. And some of these lock you to NPC-only parties, but some of these actually give you, it sounds like your full party comp. You just have 2 slots used up. It's a little weird and strange. So yeah, keep that in mind. Also, there's still way more NPC solo fights here. There's so much happening here. Yeah, I know. You guys are going to be weirded out about that, but it's true. I don't think that one's going away for this story fight. We're going to have to work to rebuild that Mash. So, the enemy comp is basically the same. The only thing is in part 2, expect more archers and lancers during this phase. First of all, you get some new boys, the Picts. They come in Saber, Lancer, and Berserker varieties. They're like the Celtic soldiers, but juiced up more and more naked. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, it's true. Also, there are big Moors now, and also some other weird shapes for Moors I won't go into, but yeah, these guys get down here. Also, for more recurring mobs, expect to see some more centaurs in this phase, plus some giants and some ghosts and stuff.
Ghosts and stuff.
Big ghost, little ghost, Oni ghost. What's that? You want to know about boss fights, you ask? This is where chat goes, I didn't, and I'm like, too bad! Guess what? We have fucking loads of them! Expect even more break bars! So, you get a reprieve for the couple first acts of this, but we get to Act 12, kicks us off. There's going to be boss versions of Queen Knights with extra buffs. Their second HP bars don't even break 120 HP. This is not a concern. You know what is a concern? Act 12 ends with a boss Spriggan with 232 and 299 HP. That's right, this is a Spriggan with break bars, chat.
That is not okay.
Now, on his first bar, he cannot NP, but he gets a one-time, one-turn damage cut every turn. This goes away on his second HP bar, his second break bar. Not that Spriggans need NPs, but, it's funny. So, Act 13 has Big Saber Return. Basically the same tricks as the first time, so that's, special damage reduction, puts taunts on your servants, gets a permanent attack buff every time they defeat somebody. But after 3 turns, this time, their special damage resistance is removed, and the fight ends after just 1 HP bar, a mere 583,000 HP bar.
Okay.
The next pip has the real fight. 361 and 473 HPs. Special resistance should be evened out. The enemy gives themselves threat to humanity, which is weird, but does mean that Castoria's buffs do stuff. Also, just keep in mind that they still get that attack up permanently when they kill one of your units, and after bar number 1, this is increased. They do it twice. They get 2 attack ups. So don't die. Yeah, Summer MHA will also be funnily useful enough to this. Oh yeah, like I said, remember, this unit gets Berserker class advantage, so they just do bonus damage to everybody. What's that? You're asking me? Do they still eat seals? Not for this fight. Maybe later. He says coyly. I'm pretty sure it is actually later. But, Act 15 ends with a big boss showdown. There's a caster man with some HP bars. The first fight is fake. Live 5 turns or die. We're learning, game designers. I love being able to say that. You can either survive 5 turns, or you could just fucking die. Thank God. Anyway, the second fight is real. And boy, is it real. There's 4 HP bars. 183, 187, 191, 194. The enemy has buffs to make them immune to charm, immune to poison and burn. They get permanent sure hit, and they get resistance to attacks, and they heal 30k HP every turn.
Jesus.
But you have a forced NPC pick of Percival. If you hit the boss with Percival's NP, it will remove all those buffs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, cool. You know what's not nice? Every time you break a bar, the enemy's NP maximum goes down by a tick. When you've gotten them on their final HP bar, it's only 2 pips.
What? Okay.
And it's single target. And it removes your defensive buffs, so get ready to die. Also, every break bar you gets new buffs. The first one is crit rate, crit damage up. Second one is damage plus and Pierce Invul. Yes, the Pierce Invul lasts 5 turns. You better get your Castoria's non-pierceable Invul up and going. The final one is a Def Up and a Guts for a few turns. The Guts is 3 times. I cry.
Of course this entire Lostbelt is illegal. That's why we're cutting it down.
This one's different step EX, guys. It's bad. Yeah, I haven't even looked at Part 3. I can't imagine how they're going to top this. I know that Part 3 contains a boss fight, which, at least, pre a nerf issue, where there was kind of a unintentional thing where, you notice how a lot of enemies give you curse damage here? It was possible for a boss in the third part to kill you with curse at the end of the turn after it had already died and you still lose the fight.
Oof.
They did patch that in JP. Hopefully will be pre-patched. But yeah, it's rough. Anyway, that's Act 15. In Act 16, you must defeat an archer boss with only Castoria. They have 121 and 151 HP, and on you break bar 1, they will summon an Ifrit. They will summon an ad. The enemy will also inflict curse on you on normal attack. Deep breaths, everybody. Act 17. Remember, we go to 24. You have to fight an Avenger with 359k HP. They can inflict sleep and reduce your instant death resistance on a normal attack. And then your Saber friend is back for the first time, for the last time. 230, 275, 272 HP. You can only use 3 servants, including your supports. Front row only, baby. The battle ends on break bar 2, but on break bar 1, they charge their MP to max, and you lose a command seal. So yeah, they don't eat a command seal every turn, but you just straight up lose a command seal if you haven't used it already in this fight. Fucking bullshit. I really hope they don't remember this mechanic. Please forget this one. Guts on last HP bar is dumb, but at least it doesn't, set me back 24 hours. Oh no, I don't like that. Somebody said, shit. Anyway, okay. That's Act 17. Act 18, even more fucky. You've got to fight a giant ghost who gets 1 hit, 1 turn to evade every turn. They just got a big HP bar. It's not too much tough. But to round out this one, you have to fight some weird Avenger Moors bullshit. You've got Fairy Lancelot on your team. If Fairy Lancelot dies, you lose.
Oh.
The enemies have 366 and 192k HP respectively. They have an infinite 1k guts, but if you hit them with Fairy Lancelot's AoE NP at 1k or less HP, they lose their guts. So basically, this is you whittle the bosses and play keep away with Fairy Knight Lancelot until you can AoE them to death. So watch that one out. Act 19. You have to fight a big caster coup. You have to fight a lot of big HP Knight enemies. There's still more mid-boss, but it does end with a boss fight versus a Saber and a caster duo. The caster just has 237k HP. The Saber has 190 and 259 HP. The Saber gets attack up on normal attacks and charges NP to max on break bar. The caster will increase the team's attack and NP gauge every 3 turns. Good luck. Oh, let me open the soundboard. Where is good luck, actually? There it is.
Good luck.
And there's a fox next to it. Now, also, by the way, you get some more stuff. Act 20. There was just some weird shit in Act 20. There's a lot of chocolate enemies. Yeah, you have to fight chocolates, and you have to fight Devil Karen for some reason. I have absolutely no fucking idea. I looked at these boss names, and I'm like, I don't understand this at all. Hopefully it makes sense in context, but yeah, just watch out. There's a Karen boss fight here for some reason. Maybe it wraps around to, the fact that Castoria is in this a lot. But yeah, there's a giant hand. There's a boss with, there's a hand who's just got 2 break bars for some reason. I think he's a berserker. Watch out for that. You also got to spar with Cascu and Muramasa, so keep that in mind. But it does actually end with an actual boss fight. There's an archer boss, 288, 368 HP. They inflict curse on normal attacks and apply evil curse on break bar. It's relatively simple, I know. Act 21, you get a showdown with a caster enemy boss. Similar, but not the same as that first caster enemy boss. Got 248, 322 HP. You get some story buffs. The enemy does get that same crit chance up, 10k heal per turn, immune to charm, and immune to poison burn, and has a sure hit and a damage reduction buff. But the fight ends at bar 1. The final battle is a little smaller. They've got more HP, 322 and 409, but and they can inflict curse on normal attacks, but their HP is reduced every turn, so they're just slowly dying the whole time. In both fights, you are limited to your front row only. So yeah, go the flex. You get a reprieve for a couple of turns. There's some stuff in there, but that's mostly story related. In 24, you get your big finish. First, you must fight a Lancer boss with just Muramasa and Cascu. They are constantly charging their NP to max every turn. They also gain sure hit for two turns on break 1 and 2 turns of invul on break 2. 196, 239, 268 HP. Watch out for that one. And then the big one, the final showdown of the Lostbelt, a Berserker boss. Who could that be? Also, by the way, this isn't the end of Lostbelt, but this is the big showdown of the bit. They have no class disadvantage. They remove 2 of their debuffs every turn. Every 3 turns exactly, they will fire attack up, charge up, and enemy defense down. When you break their first bar, they get crit chance and damage up. And also gives your team attack down and star gen down every turn. These buffs expire on turn 8. Break 2, the enemy now removes all your buffs on normal attack, charges 2 NP pips per turn, and gets attack and crit up every turn. So, it turns into a big fucking DPS race. Oh, and by the way, that's not actually the last fight you have to do. There's a hopeless version of this fight after that, but luckily it ends when you are defeated, just to let you know this story's not over yet. So you have to actually win the first one, and then you lose the second one. I know, it's crazy. And that's part 2 of Lostbelt 6. That's not even the third part. That's right, we go through 24 chapters. There's a fucking, what feels like a Lostbelt final boss. And then you gotta do it again in 4 weeks. Oh, I'm so glad they give us 10 Spirit Mates for this. Whew. You never let them do the salty run back. This part should just have the Fairy Lancelot and Percival banner. There should be no other banners on this. The only buff you get is a story-related one. But yeah, so honestly, like, looking at it, part 1 doesn't feel like too much of a freak show. The main thing is just that one that eats your command seals that you have to, like, figure out how to live 7 turns or break a big HP bar. You should be able to get some experimentation out here. There's a lot of HP chunkiness. Part 2 is just jam-packed with bullshit. And like I said, that's not even the real shit. The boss fight everyone says is, like, the hardest boss fight in the game is in part 3. We're not there yet. Luckily, you don't need to worry for a while. You're gonna have a couple of weeks to worry about that one. But yeah, damn. And like I said, hopefully I am not underselling how dense this Lostbelt is. Like I said before, there are multiple, 8 or 9 pip nodes in part 2. Like, is a lot. There's a lot going on here. So, like, it's dense. Like, every single one of those nodes, right, where I listed out a boss fight, usually that boss fight is, like, pip 5, and then the last 2 pips are just story, no battle pips. So at least there's denouement, there's relaxation after you do these hard boss fights, but we're talking about some dense stuff. No word on how soul-crushing everything is, but we'll see. Again, we haven't gotten to the last part. But yeah, that is our, Lostbelt 6, Part 1 and Part 2 pregame. Everybody, if you weren't taking this dailies and stuff seriously, consider doing some grinding now. Get your levels in. Maybe feed some grails. Be prepared. Be prepared. It's not required to watch The Lion King before you do Lostbelt 6 Part 2 or Part 1, but I don't know if it'll hurt. Yeah, I can already tell you I'm gonna bust my fucking Super Orion out. I need to check my Super Orion skill levels. Is he just 666?
Yeah, I think mine's just 666 as well. I don't know if I'll grail him, but I think I am going to get this man up to 10, 10, 10.
Yeah, do I need to go 10? I mean, we just got a 60 million QP. I might want to go for a push. There's some scary sabers in this.
I don't know. I might bust out. I might go to the QP mines for a bit too.
Obviously, like, if you get a Morgan, right out the gate, she is kind of a new premier farming unit. High spec farming berserker that will give you some advantage in this. But there should still be some other useful units. But yeah, actually, I should reiterate this because I brought it up earlier, but did not fully explain it. As I mentioned before, there will be some nodes where you are forced to pick a story support and then can select other story supports. You are not allowed redundancies in this. So, if the game gives you Castoria, you cannot use your Castoria. You cannot double Castoria. Similarly, if they give you NPC mash, you will not be able to use your mash. Not that you probably would, because you'd be stuck with, fucking Oranax mash and would cry. But yeah, so I feel like there's a lot of interesting game design here where they're trying to, like, balance out the fact that, like, people have been playing for what anniversary is this? 6?
Yes.
People who've been playing for 6 years are fucking enswollenated. So there's a lot of weird gimmicks like, big NP drains. There's a couple of max HP reductions in here. There's a lot of, forced story support picks where you gotta be kind of clever. But you should still be able to use a handful of your tools out here. And, remember, you've got new tools if you roll them. So keep your eyes peeled, in a sense, it is probably kind of good that they did actually do that summer rerun first because some people got some shots at Summer Kiara, who is a mood cancer. You will probably want one of those if you haven't leveled one. Start working now. Bust out your Welfare BB. If you don't have your Welfare BB, do the main interlude for CCC so you could get at least one copy. Be ready to flex. And that's all I got there. You just gotta keep your eyeballs out. Oddly enough, I do think they let you, I think you can, double Rider Da Vinci or double Muramasa. It's just specifically when they force you to pick Mash or Castoria, they're like, no double ups. But yeah, I don't want to say this will be a cakewalk. I don't know how much of a crazy boss rush this will be compared to Lostbelt 5 Part 2. Because like I said, there are literally some nodes where I'm like, this guy technically has break bars, but he doesn't fucking matter. He's only got 120 HP. You'll eat him. A lot of those guys are also casters, so like I said, Rider Da Vinci, you're gonna fucking noom everybody. Foreigners will also probably go far. There's a lot of Berserker bosses in here, so, dust off all of those. MHXX actually has some utility. Yeah, that guy's ready. Somebody posted an image of his Grailed 102, 10, 10, 10 Super Orion. That guy's ready. So we'll see how it shakes out. But yeah, otherwise, keep your eyes peeled. Like I said, look out for a wanted. I have not actually... Normally I would be like, join our Patreon, blah, 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 get this, get that. I haven't actually set up the monthly polls yet. I know, it's the second I haven't done it. I'm terrible, but I was very busy working yesterday and also felt kind of crappy, and today I was writing the pregame. I'll work on this probably while the show is editing and exporting. But keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, there'll be a wanted out. I'll be working on that over the weekend for Morgan. Next week, you can probably, look forward to a... Yeah, it will be. I can tell you right now, if for those of you who won't watch it or whatever, the notes where I usually talk about the Fate version is probably going to be, there's going to be a lot of blocks out like, hey, so technically this is the Lostbelt Morgan, so I can't, actually shake out too much about this. You're going to have to find out most of this stuff in story. But you're also going to get to hear me, talk like an insane person about how Arthurian mythology works again.
It's a little bullshit.
So, by the way, little did you know, Arthur actually has had 3 different sisters over the years. I think Scotty's still our top. We'll see. I kind of hope it surpasses Scotty, but I don't know if the SEO works the same way these days. YouTube is weird. I just talked about how I feel like I've had backsliding views on some videos, so... Anyway, keep your eyes peeled for the Wanted. That'll be up there. As we said earlier, we should be breaking out a new Monday stream series. Lucky we'll be taking on Hollow Knight. We're still doing Final Fantasy XIV streams. Still doing Fail Portrayal stuff. If you're watching this video on YouTube, we'll be doing What's Up, because I'm getting lucky, live that day, where we'll probably be yelling about more video games.
We do that a lot.
It's also because we're in a very intense time for video game news. Street Fighter 6 just came out, all that other fun stuff. But yeah, that's all I got for now.
All right, well, that's it for me as well.
All right. Everybody, good luck, have fun. I feel like that one meme of all the knights with all their swords in the center, the table, that's just us right now. We're all just getting ready to rock, because we're all going to be fucking dying. I suspect that our EN spoilers thread will be hopping with just people just going, ah! Soon. Also possibly our roll thread. We'll see how that goes for people. Hey, join our Discord. We've got a roll thread, we've got a regular thread for FGO, and we've got a spoiler thread. Technically, we have 2 spoiler threads, because we have a separate breakout for JP, if you're looking forward to audio call stuff. They showed off some more, future CEs for this anniversary, including Summer Say, looks like. She has cowboy boots. Sorry, I zoned out there for a second because I right-clicked to copy that link to paste to Patreon chat to remind everybody, and it's just like, hold on, how many different options do I have when I right-click in Discord? But yeah, look at that. Setting up for FGO Fez, which is officially the 29th and the 30th of July. So, keep your eyes peeled for all that stuff. But yeah, also, actually, speaking of future stuff, strictly speaking, so for NA, I'm pretty sure we're just going to be focused on getting the Lostbelt out this month. We might have some, interspersal, some, dead weeks will be taken up. Is there a interlude or rank-up campaign that hasn't hit us yet that we need to get out of the way before anniversary? Interlude campaign, yeah. So, probably you'll get, Lostbelt 6, Part 1, Banner 2, Interlude Campaign, Part 2, Banner 3 or whatever, etc. All that stuff. So they'll shake it out a little. But the thing also to keep an eye out for, again, in terms of, constantly shifting news, is the Ordeal Call pre-release campaign also ends the 7th of June, which is also the middle of the week. And in case you haven't noticed, NA and JP kind of seem to be syncing up major content releases a lot. Probably makes it easier for all the server boys. So we may actually be looking at not only getting Lostbelt 6, dropping live next week for next show, but Ordeal Call might also have started, which will presumably include, new story banners, new nonsense, more yelling and screaming. So keep your eyes peeled, everybody. Certainly hoping that it will be a fruitful and exciting month for FGO. Oh, it'll be 7 hours long. We only got 6 hours out of Lostbelt 5s, and this next one can't be that long because we can't have all the story content by then. Also, there's no fucking way I'm going to get through 24 acts of this bullshit, even if they did drop Part 1 and Part 2 all at once. There's no way I'd chew through all this stuff in 3 days. But alright, that means it's time to wind on down the show. So, if you like this video, give us a like, leave your comments down below, also join our Discord, like I said. Keep your eyes peeled. Join our Discord, join the threads. If you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel to get more. Keep yourself subbed up for that Wanted and for future live streams. Also, make sure to ring that bell so you always know when we post a new video or when we fire up a live stream. That way you can know exactly when that Wanted goes live so you can start catalyzing, like some sort of catalytic converter. You can also join our channel memberships, get access to membership badges and emotes. Well, if it's just the class sign dropping on the 7th, that will also be something cool to talk about. That way we can actually figure out what that does, since nobody knows yet. Yeah, that's right. It's about technically Ordeal Call's probably not until the 14th, but we are going to get access to the Bleached Earth missions next week and go on. Yes, Robin, you are correct. It is Fairy Tristan, Fairy Gawain, and Morgan. And keeping in mind, Morgan gets lots of banners, but this first one is good. Yeah, Fairy Morgan, as if there's any other kind of Morgan. Captain Morgan Rum, summonable writer soon. Anyway, also, like I said at the front, I should consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to those early in audio format for as little as $1 a month or approximately $10 a year. It is a new month. Perfect time to subscribe to Patreon. At our higher levels, Gold or Rail 2 patrons can listen to Let's Talk FGO get recorded live every single week. And you too can be part of the Peanut Gallery and shout things at me that cause me to say non sequiturs. But also, at any patron level, you can look at our patron chat. So if you want to get context for all this, you can't listen into the show live, but you can see all the patron stuff getting posted at any level. So, consider it. Helps keep us supported, keeps us going. And all right, well, we'll be seeing you next week for, first thoughts on Lostbelt 6, number 1. And we'll see how things go. That's it for me. Good night and good luck, everybody.
Have a good evening, everyone.